Prosecutor suspended for charging innocent protesters. The first word that popped out at me is suspended. Phoenix, Arizona, April Sponsel, the former Maricopa County Attorney's Office prosecutor who worked with Phoenix police to falsely charge protesters as gang members, will lose her law license for at least 2 years. No word that pops out, two. Just 2 years? Suspension was leveled against Sponsel on Tuesday. Sponsel was one of 4 attorneys in the Maricopa County Attorney's Office assigned to a first responders bureau that was created to prosecute alleged crimes against first responders like police officers. Another problem I have. After the Minneapolis police killing of George Floyd and the Arizona Department of Public Safety killing of Deion Johnson, the MCAO received hundreds of charge submittals from law enforcement arising out of local protests. According to the disciplinary hearing panel's written decision suspending Sponsel, Sponsel took the lead on pursuing felony prosecution against the protesters. Arizona Republic with the reporting. The disciplinary hearing panel found that police reports related to an October 17, 2020 protest that led to the arrest of 18 people had cut and paste characteristics, including carried forward misspellings, undeleted template prompts such as name, and substantially identical verbiage. Of those arrested, Sponsel charged 15 people with 3 felonies: riot, hindering prosecution, and aggravated assault. The hearing panel found Sponsel cavalierly dismissed exculpatory evidence, did not review important video evidence, wrongly accused a man of possessing Antifa paraphernalia, and rushed the case, all of them, to a grand jury. Leave Antifa out of it. Amy Caper, one of the protesters who was arrested, told the hearing panel the experience had led her to believe the legal system is so much worse than I ever could have imagined. According to the hearing panel's decision, she lost a job because of her arrest and suffered from PTSD because of the ordeal. The decision states, so much dirtier and more insidious and backwards and evil than I could have ever imagined, Caper said. According to the decision, I believe she's been through every bit of it. As I look at her picture here, every bit of it. It's not a shock to me. The hearing panel also found Sponsel worked with police to fabricate the ACAB gang and bring criminal street gang charges against protesters with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. They'd never done that before. 3-person panel quoted County Attorney Rachel Mitchell, who testified that Sponsel's grand jury presentation against protesters was outrageous. Panel said the evidence presented to them supported Mitchell's assessment. Ms. Sponsel may not have intended to indict an innocent man, the hearing panel wrote of one of the people charged, but the evidence establishes that she did so. When presented with evidence contradicting the charges against the protester, Sponsel did not take the time to give it an objective examination, the hearing panel found. Hearing panel found Sponsel violated multiple ethical conduct rules. Her 2-year suspension is effective 60 days from Tuesday. Again, the Arizona Republic with the reporting there. I'm incensed, yes, by the conduct, but also by the panel. You have to be pretty bad for your colleagues, basically, those who do what you do, to step up and call you out publicly. But to hear things like, she may not have intended to indict an innocent man, when you don't review evidence, when you blow off exculpatory evidence, when you cut and paste like it's a template, someone's life, and choose to charge as a gang crime. What's RICO? Ever heard of RICO? When you do all that, you did intend. You did intend. This is willful misconduct, not negligence. There's a huge difference. What I heard is willful misconduct. You're charging innocent people with felonies and at least 2 years suspension. Why would you ever be allowed to practice law again? Ever? What does it take for these people to lose the privilege of being part of the system where they persecute people? Tell me where I'm wrong here, Jackson. And by the way, I have another question for you. Why is there a necessary carve out here? Why does there need to be a special unit that prosecutes on behalf of first responders and police officers? Aren't crimes crimes? And if one's committed against an officer or first responder, people should be charged. But again, it puts this, they're up here and we're over here. I don't know. Maybe they have a special unit that protects and prosecutes on behalf of innocent people who were subjected to trumped up charges. Maybe, but I haven't heard about that. But I'll let you have the floor.
Well, yeah, exactly. As you pointed out, there's special prosecutors for things like that because it helps to keep the system intact. It may, in terms of how it's sold, it's well, there's special instances. There's more data to look through. We have to be, but all it is about maintaining authority and keeping the state in the position that it's in. Now, I do 100% agree that these prosecutors should just flat out be disbarred and fired and not allowed to practice law again. However, not being able to do this for 2 years, I think, is going to have a serious impact on their careers. Just period. So at least there's that. At least there was some justice. But at the end of the day, like you pointed out, this was very intentional, very brazen, and above all, is very political. She was going about this, and these prosecutors are going about this because of what they believe politically. They thought that this is the right thing to do. We have to set an example here. And that's why they got punished the way that they did, because you can't play with people's lives because of what you personally believe or how you think things should go. So that's all this was. 100%. They did this because they wanted to, and they got busted for it. Again,
Yeah.
I wish they got fired, but I think that 24 months without being able to practice law is probably going to put a dent in their careers that they can't fully, truly recover from, but they should have been fired.
I think you're right, and I think I'm right. I think it's going to be a very painful experience. 2 years without, you were up here, and now you're kind of people looking sideways at you if they care, if they care. But I'm
Yeah.
right too. What I hear here is, even in this panel, who was charged with kind of getting the facts out, and they seemingly did a bang up job. A bang up job graded on a curve, you see. I hear people going out of their way to make excuses for a crime. This is misconduct. You want to do a review board? Fine. You want the HR? If this is true, it's a crime. What you did is a crime. Willful misconduct. That's not the same as an accident. People get charged, by the way, with accidents.
Right.
Well, they get charged because it's just so heinous, and the details, you can find something there. I don't want to see her ever in a courtroom again unless she's sitting at the defendant's table. I don't want her inside a meeting with police officers unless they're interrogating her. I think that's what she's earned here. Ruining lives. I don't hear anything about wiping out these, indictments, these arrest records that come up time and time again. I don't hear anything about that. Innocent people. Disgusted. Disgusted.